What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Purposeful Talk podcast. And today we are in episode 5. And I am super humbled to introduce this guest, Don Harris. He has came all the way from Dallas, Texas to be on this episode. And mind you, he's the only one to travel all the way here to be here. And I appreciate this. So without further ado, let me introduce you all to Don Harris.
Hey. Glad to be here, man.
Hey,
glad to be
I'm
here.
glad you came.
You know, even though I traveled from Dallas, I'm from Memphis, so I think that should be made clear.
Yeah,
I'm
he's from Memphis. He's from Memphis.
But I came here for some family, and I said, why not? Why not get on the show? I saw you put your invite out there. You said, hey, who want to do a collab? Who wants to get on the show? And I said, okay. Well, let's see what you're talking about, man.
I'm glad you came.
Purposeful Talks?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to have a purposeful talk.
Yeah, we are. We are being very intentional today. We are talking about goals and resolutions.
Goals and resolutions.
We are in January, as you already know. Everybody want to reset, restart, recalibrate, and we chose to start something together.
Yeah.
Right? What
something
was that?
like that.
Yeah, something like that. This thing called Hard 75.
Yeah.
Taking pictures and all this stuff.
Yeah. It kind of came together organically. I remember last year, 2024, man.
Yeah.
Coming into the new year, we were talking about fitness and, hey, man, how many, pounds you shedding this year and this and that. And, we kind of roundabout way was doing something similar to that last year with fitness and health. And I said, you know what, why not? And then my wife and I, we started this this fast that we kicked off at the beginning of the year, coming into the new year. So I said, why not? It's the perfect time to do it, so why not?
Yeah.
Everybody comes in the new year with resolutions anyway.
You ain't lying.
So you might as well,
you ain't lying.
clean up a little bit,
exactly.
shape up a little bit.
Make your life better, man. What are some things you think you left in 2024 to start 2025 to be a new?
Oh, my God. Left? Left in 2021. Look, what did we not leave in 2024?
You're right.
That was a crazy year, man.
It really was
a crazy year.
It really was.
I'll say, some of the things that people always kind of come into the new year with is like, hey, I want to leave behind dead relationships, anything that's not contributing to my life.
Yeah.
You always want to kind of shed the dead weight, coming into the new year. You don't want to be carrying baggage from last year into the new year, and you want to kind of tighten up a little bit. So I would say really anything that wasn't contributing, adding to my growth, that was left in 2024.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. How about you?
I kind of had the same thing, man. I last year, as you all know, I was going through this dating phase and all of this stuff. We talked about that last year already, but I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. But I did leave that in 2024 when me and Don met. We met in Florida, and at the time, I was telling him about these stories and stuff like that. And he was like, "P, man, like I see what you're saying, but like, what about scaling back? And what about thinking about being more intentional and stuff like that?" And we had these conversations about this stuff because I started getting frustrated. Like I was like, why that person don't like me or whatever. We had all these outlandish conversations about how dating is, and him giving the husband perspective of things, as well as me being single. I would have to understand and adopt more of his principles because he's speaking from a mentality of legacy, and that's what people forget about sometimes. Like that whole narrative about simping and all this other stuff. Like, okay, cool, whatever. That's social media stuff. But like when you talk at the end of the day, you got to have people next to you that have legacy, like that actually doing this, taking care of their family. They are doing the things to make sure everybody's okay and everything like that. And Don is doing that, So I took heed to what he was saying and listened to him a lot throughout this summer, man. I only been knowing him like 6 months, so but I actually listened to him and when we talk and everything like that. But as I was talking to him, I realized like, man, like I need to share dead weight. Like you just said, like I found peace in blocking. I did. I blocked a lot of people out of my life. I mean, phone numbers, Facebooks, Instagrams, all this stuff. I know you all may be calling this sassy or whatever. I don't care, but it has protected my peace to the utmost. It has protected my peace to the utmost for real. Like when you block people, I don't know what y'all think, but when you block somebody, man, especially somebody that was like real serious dead weight, living in your head rent free type stuff, it's like you get all of that time and space back for yourself. At least that's what happened for me, and that's why when we talked about Heart 75, I wasn't like, oh no, like I didn't say no. I was like, what day or something, right? Like what day we doing it and stuff like that. Because I think that we were talking about doing it on the 1st. But I said I'm gonna do it on the 5th or something because I know this weekend is happening, so I'm gonna start that next day. And it made it easier because I didn't have to think about all of these different things that didn't have nothing to do with me. And I was just trying so hard to be the best version of myself and not knowing I had to release relationships and people and like all of these wild things, let these things go to start my new life. So, and that's including, like SAR 75, we'll talk about it later, but those principles that's in their program and stuff like that, not knowing how much this stuff was weighing down on me and limiting me from being the person I need to be. Like me and him was talking about like, us doing this episode now and stuff. Like if this was last year, I'd be like, oh man, we have to wait because I would have made an excuse about it because I want to prep you a coach. When I said something about coaching, I would say it's like, we don't have to do all that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is not a record album or whatever. So definitely those are things that I left in 2024 was the biggest one was relationships and also understanding the intentional relationships too. The people that really matter, the people that actually care and call and people that, text here and there. Even if it's just once a month or once every 2 months, this still counts. Like, I think that's one thing I did learn in therapy a lot. I used to be frustrated with my therapist because I used to tell her, like, I'll text somebody and then I'll text them back to like 2 weeks later or a week later or something. And I used to be mad about that. It's like, man, you gotta text me back now.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
I wasn't talking about you to my therapist though. I wasn't talking about you. This is like other stuff. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, and she was like, don't they have kids? Yeah. Don't they have wives? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't they have kids are in basketball or whatever? Yeah. And it was like, well, you can't expect people to filter to your tune just because you text them something or you text them good morning or whatever. And he told me that, I was like, oh, that actually makes sense, and I know it sounds kind of like weird. Y'all may not understand, but I'm a person that's like, hey, when it's something serious or important, I want to get a response back. But some people don't feel urgency like I do, so I give them that grace. And I had to understand when to let go too of things and not be invested in things as well. So, but yeah, left out 2024. It was stuff that I was a part of that I removed myself from because it was unorganized and I didn't fall in line with the line of the mission that people had. Like,
that's the military in you.
Yes, it is.
That's the military.
But my thing is, you're right. But I don't have a problem with collaborations. Like right now, like we talked on the phone 5 minutes about this, and
now I'm here. So I was in the car driving.
But you're also ex-police officer too, though.
No. But either way, it's just all about the intention.
Yeah.
But I'll say this to one of your points that you were making. Expectations. Having an expectation for people to respond a certain way to how you respond to them or things that you do for them or how you communicate, how you have an expectation over their response. Mm-hmm. You could just cut all that out. That'll save you a mountain of energy, a mountain of emotion, a mountain of time if you just drop your expectation for other people.
And let them be who they are.
Yeah, just let them be who they are. Like, who cares?
You tell me that all the time.
Like, who cares?
You tell me that all the time.
And people get so worked up in the expectations that they set on people in their lives or, depending on who it is, like, I'm married, I have children. Yes, there is an expectation for me to be a husband and to be a father to my kids and be a husband to my wife. Right. Mm-hmm. But to everyone else outside of that, whether it's work, whether it's friends, whether it's, somebody I met off the street, just an organic relationship, somebody that I just met in passing. Yeah. I can't put my expectation on them for them to be a certain person to me. I don't know you. Half the time, you don't even know who this person really is.
I don't know you.
So it's like, how can I meet somebody, especially when you're talking about relationships? Yeah. How can you meet somebody and have an expectation for them to do something for you, be this, that, and the third for you.
Yeah.
And you're still getting to know them. But that's based on your previous experiences, your previous relationships and past, you know, challenges and past experiences that you have now made up to say, okay, you know, this is what I want.
Yep, exactly.
You know, this is what I expect. Right. And when you carry that load of wanting that for yourself and expecting them to do it, you're setting yourself up, I think. And it's not always setting yourself up for success. Yeah, it's good to have standards. Yeah, it's good to have, you know, kind of a guideline to follow or boundary, you know, all of that. Yeah, those are all good things. But when you let that expectation get in the way of your emotions and it start to, you know, push and pull of like, you know, do I really want to be in this? Do I not? They're not doing this. They were doing what I wanted them to do. They're not meeting my expectation. Yeah. And if you hadn't clearly communicated that, you're setting yourself up for an unsuccessful relationship.
I agree with you.
But I think, you know, the most importantly, you know, leaving that behind, you know, coming into the new year, just with no expectation, you know. And I know people probably look at that or hear that and be like, not have any expectations. Like, well, I'm not saying don't have goals or don't have anything in mind, don't expect anything out of life, but don't put those keys in somebody else's hand. You know, don't
this gonna be real.
Look, don't put those keys in somebody else's hand for your own success, your own happiness, to fulfill your expectations. What you put in front of you is for you.
Yeah.
What you put in front of them is in front of them. And if it's clearly communicated, and if they don't meet that after you've already clearly said this, that, or whatever you needed them to do, or meet your standard or meet your goals or whatever it is that you want them to do in the relationship, then hey, if they can't do that, kick rocks.
Yep. Exactly.
And there's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
There's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
So, but I know we were talking about, you know, coming into the new year and things we left in the past. The past is behind us. So I really, you know, honestly, I could care less about last year.
Yeah.
You know, let's just start off, man, this is crazy. Look, I actually like all of this. This is pretty neat.
Yeah.
For those who are viewing this, what I'm looking at is a row of cameras. It's like a row of cameras and a row of lights. But you know, this is new to me. I've never been on a show before. But anywho, the jump from 2019 to now 2025 has been insane. Like, it's taken all of us by storm. I mean, we done been through COVID. We done been through how many presidential elections, and we done been through a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah. And it's time out for just, you know, wasting each other's time, you know, especially when you talk about relationships. And I'm going to make this whole episode about relationships, but I know a lot of people, you know, they do want that advice. They do want to know, like, hey, what should I do? You know, what expectations should I have? How should I enter into, you know, things like that. But, you know, that's something that just, you got to put that behind you.
I agree with
forward.
That,
you know what I'm saying?
I do believe it. I think that people have to understand that you have to work on yourself too. Like, you have to be in tune with yourself. I know I'm saying this, but you have to do the things that you know are healthy for you. And like we talking about, let it be boundaries, let it be letting go of the past, let it go, you going to therapy, let it be exercising or your diet, whatever it may be. When you start aligning with yourself, you'll start attracting high quality people and or people that are aligned with you, the stuff that you do. Right. Like if you go to the gym 5:30 in the morning every day, you eventually gonna see somebody there, you know, that's at their 5:30 as well as you and working out just like you. And you're like, oh, I've been seeing you every day for the past like 2 months, so this may be serious.
That's the start of you know, a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, somebody was telling me, man, that gyms, I think in 2024, like somebody did a study of like where singles meeting each other. And I mean, hell, I wouldn't know because you know, I'm married. But gyms were like it was like in the top 3. You know what number 1 was?
Number 1?
Just guess. Like
Church.
where's like, well, yeah, that was number 2 actually.
Oh, number 1? Number one, work.
Grocery stores.
I
was like, grocery stores, but it makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. I'm
gonna start going to Whole Foods then.
Yeah. You walking around the store with your little basket. Push. Bump the little cart. Oh, hey, excuse me.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, give them a little action. In the grocery store, and it's organic, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended. Being in a grocery store, having an organic relation. Moment or whatever.
Yeah.
But cool. But yeah, man, I think a lot of what you're saying, as people come into the new year, they have goals, they have resolutions. We hear it all the time, right?
Yeah.
Oh, new year, new me, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's the same old you.
It's the same old you.
But how are you gonna make your new year different?
Yeah.
It's 365 days, right, in the year.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. Every other year, it's like 366 or something
leap
like
year
that,
and everything,
whatever.
Right.
But what goals or what resolutions did you set for yourself in 2025?
Man, I'm gonna keep going back to our conversation. So it still went back to Hard 75 in a way, but the goals I set for myself were. Read 12 books. It was read 12 books. I'll probably type that.
Wait, you can read?
I'm actually gonna read it actually. Hold on.
Oh, that's good.
I'm gonna read it to y'all. Cause see, I can pull out my phone. See, this ain't the Grammy. See, Drake did, I can do it.
Wow.
Let it ride.
Well.
Yeah, so for 2025, man, I typed this out before the new year came in. So I said complete Hard 75, personal goal.
Okay.
Read 12 books, complete the whole 30 program. I lose 15 pounds, go to the gym at least 5 times a week, go to church 3 times a month, join the church, and be active and co-lead in ministry. Them were the things on there. And I also had other things on here as far as community involvement things that I wanted to do, such as backpack drive, mentoring, shoe drive, turkey drive, and the toy drive, and the professional development.
Man, you got a long list.
Yes.
You got a long list.
I do have a long list,
yeah.
but it's this list. Even if I don't accomplish all of them, I'm glad that I set a standard for myself for 2025 to try to knock all
goals.
of these out.
You set goals.
Goals for myself. Yeah, goals for myself to achieve all of these.
Right.
And if I don't achieve all of them, I'm not gonna feel bad about it. But if I can get 75% of this list done, I feel like I won.
Yeah.
I really do.
So what are things that you do to kind of keep yourself on track? You have a list of things. You've obviously got it spelt out to a T.
Yeah.
What are you doing to kind of keep yourself on track with that?
Right now, just taking it day by day. Everything.
Wow, that's telling me a whole lot.
Yeah,
let's be more clear.
Okay, what I do is I rationalize everything, so I know that everything has a timeline. So right now, I know the things that I want to do for the community is more so later this year.
Okay.
So right now I'm front loading, so I'm doing the Hard 75 first, knocking that out, whole 30, knocking that out, and doing my own personal schooling and stuff. And when it comes to the summertime, that's when I'm gonna start revving up the second half to get the other part of it done.
Okay.
So rational wise. I already sent text messages to people saying, hey, I'm letting y'all know in December 2025, I'm going to do this. This is a year out.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how forward thinking I am. I send them messages now about December and Q4, basically.
I still got messages I hadn't responded to from 2024. So,
we're
not going to ask me how far in advance I'm texting people.
Yeah, so I'm always forward thinking like that. That's why when I tell you when it's some collaboration, I always think about what possibly can happen to mess this up. So if I let you know a year in advance or 6 months in advance, it shouldn't be nothing to come in between this unless you forget on that end. But I'll make sure I properly communicate. But even for the things personally with me, it's just staying consistent, man. The consistency journey has been a problem for me. I've been here. I sent you the pictures last week. 2016, I lost 17 pounds in like 30 days. Then after I stopped, I gained that weight back like in 6 months.
2016, that was a while ago.
It was 8 years ago. And this what they used to call me Young Kobe back then because I was in the military winning all these awards and stuff. It's not because I was playing basketball, y'all. I know y'all thinking. Not because I was hooping. It's because I was always in the conversation of the best airman at the time. Like any award came up, they always was thinking about my name, even if I didn't win them. And I actually saw a story today where I had a picture of 2015 when I was nominated for an annual award. Did I ever tell you that what happened?
Yeah.
So that happened, and I know you all may not know the story, but to sum it up, I was nominated for an annual award that basically was like the what you call it, like a Grammy or whatever.
Yeah.
So Grammy of the military.
It's the Grammys of the military.
Yeah, Grammys of the military. Wow. The theme actually it was Oscars, which is crazy, right? So I invited my father here and everything, y'all. I'm telling you, it was like. I was like, man, I can't. I know I got this in the bag. I was so confident I won. You can tell me nothing. Like I got this. Hey, Dad, come on, Dad. We're going to there together, man.
What was that? What was that acceptance speech gonna be?
I didn't even. At the time, I didn't even think about that because they didn't even do that at the time. The acceptance speeches and stuff. So they do the announcement. These are the two nominees. Do this whole drama, everything. So I'm standing up and about to walk up as if I already. They didn't say my name yet. I'm still like, come on, bro.
You were that confident.
Yes. Man, them folks said, and the winner is Airman so and so. And I was like, man, my heart sunk.
Wow.
And like, man, just like 300 people in this. I felt. Oh my God, it was a big L publicly. But fast forward, the next year I was nominated again, and I was in Korea at the time, and I was nominated against 8 other people. And you would think that at that point, hey, I'm not here, so yeah, I'm not going to win. I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not here. So I actually won then when I went there. Okay. And I was still happy about it, but I couldn't. Yeah. I was in another country.
Yeah,
so
you weren't even here.
Yeah, I got the hardware at the house, but it's like, I was like, I'm glad I got that out of there, though, because I did. One thing I try to do where I go is to at least get one award everywhere I go, because if I don't get anywhere where I go, I feel like I just was average or didn't do what I need to do to like be excellent in this place. But everywhere I went, I got an award of some sorts. Yeah. So that's just like I said, it's the Kobe Mamba mentality, whatever you want to call it. But it's just always trying to excel. And then when people try to put that average mindset on you and you still push forward, this what my mama taught me. My mom always told me I wasn't average. Like, and when I was a kid, I just like I felt like a C was an F. Like that's how much tutelage my mother had in me. She was like,
your mom beat your ass.
Like it was one time I lied to her, told her, hey, the report card didn't come. Like she's like, hey, they come. Wait, where your report card? I ain't come.
Oh my
she's like,
God.
Everybody got their report card but you. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody bees. Somebody the Blanchard, they get theirs.
You know, I think there's something to be said about, Black childhood trauma.
Yeah.
Of like all the things that we as young Black men have grown up to. You don't really realize like the trauma you have from like your mom or dad.
Yeah, you sure.
That parent, that childhood stuff.
Yeah.
Like, man, oh my God.
It's so much unloaded.
Look, don't let that bathroom be dirty.
Or that sink with dishes.
Don't let the dishes not be clean. You finna get woke up. You finna get woke up. Come home and them dishes ain't clean.
Hey, man, have you ever got a whooping where like your parent paused to go get something to drink?
No, I ain't never had one that bad, but you know when your mama tell you, hey, take the chicken out the freezer when you get home.
Forget.
Take the chicken out the freezer when you get home. Let her get home and that chicken still ain't unthawed all the way.
And then she opens the freezer like, oh, you're like,
yeah, you finna get
and you playing PlayStation, la la la, the rude awakening.
I think also too, man, there's something to be said about some of the best like Black mom phrases.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
to let the good air out.
That one punchline.
One punchline.
I got your phone number. That's the one I got.
For real?
Yeah, I got your number.
My mom never said this.
I got your number. Like, oh, okay, all right. I know.
My mom said you run me like hell. I'll never get that one.
Man,
that was the biggest one. She was mad at me that day. Mom, I love you. I love you so much. But you were mad at me that day.
Yeah. Shout out to the moms. Man.
Yeah, shout out to the mothers, man.
Mothers, man.
Y'all dealing with
it. We can't live without them.
Nah, we can't, man. Y'all did a lot. Yeah. They did a lot, man. Like, as mothers, y'all take a lot, man. Yeah. It's a lot being a mother, for real.
Yeah. So
sometimes
overlooked. So that's an early Mother's Day shout out. So
yeah, early Mother's Day shout out, man. Y'all deserve the flowers now, man, for sure. Y'all definitely deserve it. All of them, for real. Yeah. Yeah, I just like, man. But you're right about that, though. Man, young and all of that stuff.
Hey, it is what it is. You've grown up and became a productive being, so.
That's what my mom told me the other day.
She did right. She did right. All them ass whoopings did you right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't whoop the kids. Well, I whooped him.
Hey, But
you see what happens.
But far as, getting through your goals,
Mm-hmm.
your list of goals, you stay on track by obviously, keeping a timeline, staying consistent, and
that's it.
That's it.
That's
Wow.
it. Because everything else, if I add anything else to that type of list,
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm gonna just overload.
Yeah.
So them the two things, just like stay consistent, keep track, because it's gonna as long as I'm keeping doing my not even 1%. No, I'm not doing as long as I'm doing half a percentage in the right
Yeah.
direction for 365 days. I find like when I post stuff in the chat and I start seeing it 1 pound down, 2 pound down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, like this is real. Like
oh my
I'm like,
God.
I'm actually doing this
Man,
in Memphis, which is like one of the most unhealthiest places to be. Like,
Look, there's nothing like, just maintaining discipline.
yes.
I think there's something to be said about just being disciplined. If you can have any goal you want. Anybody can make up goals. Oh yeah, I want to do this. I want to achieve this. I want to save I want to save $1,000, or I want to, work my way towards this. I want to lose a certain amount of pounds. Yeah, that's all great. But if you're not disciplined, because discipline and consistency go together, you have to have both.
Man.
You can't just be like, oh yeah, like I want to do this. I mean, you just making it up at this point.
They ain't lying. Yeah, there's one.
So they both have to coexist together. You can't do one without the other.
I feel
because consistency, you can say that's discipline to
It
be
is.
consistent
Yes,
in
it
whatever it is you're doing. But when you start seeing the results, I think that's like the driving force, that boost, that energy boost you get.
Yeah.
Like you start seeing them ab cutouts, them prints of them abs coming in. You like, oh,
They start
okay.
doing the pull-ups.
You like, oh look, okay. Like, all right, we getting somewhere.
And we own. Yeah, you ain't
And,
lying
I
about
think
that.
that's like the biggest thing for, as men, we talk about, well, really we don't talk about it much, but, fitness, unless you're in that industry, unless you are around a group of guys, whether you came out of school as an athlete, guys who played basketball, football, ran track, stuff like that. If you've had that in the past, you kind of maintain that through your life. Everyone who's been an athlete or still is an athlete, they have that like mental guide of like, okay,
Yeah.
I know when I've gone too far.
You're right,
of
they
like
do. They
letting
do.
myself go.
Yeah.
They always know when to pull back and when to like cut it back on.
Yep.
To kind of
Yep.
get back right.
You
You
ain't
know what I'm
lying.
saying? So so I think that's one of the biggest parts of it, just having those two things coexist. I didn't really come into the new year with a lot of goals, and most people were like, oh man, what? You didn't have no resolution. And it's like, nope, I'm good. I'm cruising. I'm taking it day by day. Yes, I know where I want to be by the middle of the year,
Okay.
by the end of the year, things like that.
Yeah.
But man, when you got a family, when you got a lot of moving parts,
Yeah.
you don't want to, put too much on yourself, expectations. You don't want to put too much expectations on your own self. And then you end up overloading or kind of getting to a point, and then you're like, okay, wait, what? Like, I just need to reset. Sometimes it's good to kind of come into the new year without a whole bunch of stuff. You just need to come in clean, fresh. I just had one thing. I said, I want to come into the new year. I want to be sober. I want to take better care of myself. And now, what's today? 17th? Yeah, 17 days sober.
Yes, it is. What's up?
Haven't had any meat. Haven't had any bread.
Man.
Haven't had it. Well, today I had some. Honey hot fried mushrooms. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy. Yeah, Shroomlicious.
Shout out to
it was
y'all,
good.
man.
It was good. Yeah, but that was it. I was like, you know what? Let me just come into the new year and just cleanse.
Okay. I like
That's
that.
it. Let's just start there.
I like that. See, that's another thing for people watching, that you don't have to put pressure on yourself to do things in a certain time frame. Like what he just talked about, some people wouldn't agree with what he just said, but moving that way, you give yourself grace too.
Yeah.
Right? So you just know your markers, and you hit those, you keep yourself time.
And you said something about what other people think.
Yeah.
I could
Careless.
care.
My bad.
I could care.
Let me not say the F-bomb.
I won't drop the F-bomb.
The friend bomb.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. People care too much about what other people think.
That's
You're human just like I am. You're human just like I am.
Yeah.
You know? What does your thoughts have anything to do with me? Nothing. Your thoughts have nothing to do with me.
You're right.
Congratulations.
You played
Go fuck yourself. That was the F-bomb. That's where it went. But anywho, it's like, why do I care about what other people think? Long as I'm doing what is good for me, what's good for my family, I'm taking care of myself, taking care of my family, meeting my goals and meeting my own expectations, I'm good. I could care less about any of that other stuff.
I feel you.
People get too worried about, the image, what other people think. Oh, if I do this, they going to say that, they going to think that, or they going to say this and that about me. Who cares? Who cares? You don't see anybody posting their failures. Not one single person I know is posting their failures on their social media. Every day you log into Facebook, Instagram, everybody's beautiful. Everybody looks great.
Yeah,
Everybody's got everything going on. They're traveling the world. They're doing all this great stuff, right?
Yeah.
They never have a bad day. I was like, what world are they living in? I was like, you know what? I need to go where they're going. If that's what they got, if it's so good, tell me where to come find it.
You're right.
But last I checked, we live in the same world together.
Yes.
So we should all be supporting each other, pushing each other to be better,
Exactly.
and not putting expectations on one another to be this or be that.
Yeah.
Just we're human.
Mm-hmm.
Be human. Treat people right. That's easy.
It is easy. But people don't want to do that.
Since we've met each other, and even though we've met each other through mutual friends, we have family and friends, high school classmates that and my family and all of that.
Connected, yeah.
Since we've had this thing going, I've never put an expectation on you to say, "Hey, man, you need to be doing this," or "Man, you're not meeting my expectation as a friend, as a brother." Who am I?
I feel you.
So I think, as we continue down this road, or just going through life, or as people continue going through life, they should kind of have a mindset of just taking it easy, sitting back, not having that mindset of like, oh, I'm worried about what other people gonna do.
Yeah.
If you're worried about how other people are gonna react and what they think about you in 2025, you need to just rewind the clock and hit the reset button and keep doing it until you lose that mindset.
Yeah.
Because
so you get fed up.
Because that's just like, your podcast to a certain degree.
Yeah.
We talked about it. You said, "Hey man, I want to do this, shoot more content, da da da." And I'm like, okay, do it.
Yeah.
What's stopping you?
Nothing.
Nothing's stopping you. Nothing. And that's what I tell people, man. There is nothing getting in the way of what you want to do. You're the only person that's getting in the way.
That's true.
And if you don't learn to get out of your own way, then you'll continue to be where you are. You have to put that expectation of, and you've said this before, I'm kind of like a perfectionist. And I said that's paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
Everything has to look so good to get out there and do it. Man, you know how many places I've been to where, or people I've met, or they call it the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
How many hole in the wall restaurants you go to, food be slapping. The best food you ever had.
You're right.
Hole in the wall. You know what I'm saying? They doing it. Mom and pop shop. And you like, man, if they had this, they had that, they would have, they could be taking over. They could have a full restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they're doing it. You know how many people are sitting at home in their kitchen with fire recipes, with fire dishes?
Yeah.
They know they could launch that cheesecake business. They know they can launch this type of business, or launch this episode or podcast they want to do. But yet they're like, oh no, I'm not ready yet. Okay, well, when are you going to be ready? We're in 2025. 2024 is gone.
Yeah.
Here we are.
All the resources out there.
You're going to get left. You're going to get left. And that's the truth. Because time is not waiting for nobody.
It's
It definitely ain't stopping.
No.
It's definitely not going to stop.
The older you get, the faster it goes.
It's definitely not going to stop.
No.
So at this point, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And then you hear the same old excuses. Oh, well, I don't want people to be judging me. And, you know, this new phrase that's going around. We listen and we don't judge. You know, that whole thing that's going viral. And it's like, okay, if that's the case, we listen, we don't judge. Take that, put that in your mind. We listen, we don't judge. Move forward. Go forward. Yeah. Do what it is you need to do. Don't waste another second. So when you put your post out there, hey, look, you know, I'm inviting people on the show, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Why not?
Yep. Exactly.
Say, hey,
and I appreciate you for coming.
You said, hey, man, you know, let's set up a call. I want to prep you. You ain't got to prep me. I'm good.
Said, I've
been real my whole life. Everybody know that about me.
Yeah.
I shoot. Right. Look, I shoot from the hip.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do, man. So I do want to ask you this question, though.
Go for it.
Since we've been starting Hard 75, what are some things that you've been seeing, things you like, things that you've seen results-wise, and your process and how this been going? Because you're doing the Daniel fast as well, correct?
Yeah, okay, yeah. My wife and I are doing the Daniel fast, and you know, for those who may not know what that is, obviously the Book of Daniel. Yeah. You know, he didn't want to eat from the sacrificed meat that was put before God, so he said, "I'm going to eat from the pulse," which in the Bible that means vegetables. So that's why he went 21 days of eating vegetables. So, and you know, now in today's time, we've turned it into this fast, and it's this whole thing now where everyone does it for, you know, obviously to lose weight, to cleanse, but you're all supposed to have a devotional to go with it each and every day, you know, praying, fasting, that whole thing, blah, blah. And as far as Hard 75, you know, I don't know if you've told people. I think you have told people what it is since you've been doing it. I know you post some reels.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's a reel out there about everything.
So, you know, honestly, for us, I mean, for me and you, it just kind of happened organically. I didn't, you know, I don't think we really planned to do it.
Except
and I know that I was saying like, hey, like this will be something like to really challenge us as men. You know, as I said before when we were on the phone with our other friend a couple of weeks back, you know, I said, hey man, you know, it's time out for having conversations that aren't pushing us to grow and pushing us to be better. You know, iron sharpens iron sometimes, or not all the time. Yeah. You know, but we do want to be in a position where we are, you know, sharpening each other, pushing each other. Yeah. You know, just like I sent y'all Kobe Bryant's podcast the other day, Mamba Mentality, the greatest podcast you will ever listen to. Lewis Howes, Mamba Mentality, interviewing Kobe Bryant. It is an annual listen. I listen to it every year. Yeah, always at the beginning of the year, I listen to it, man. Yeah. It's phenomenal. He drops some excellent gems in that episode. But anywho, Hard 75, honestly, it hasn't been that hard for me. Simply because I am doing the Daniel fast. So I'm not eating any meat. I'm not eating any, you know, processed foods. I'm not doing any junk food, not doing any alcohol. And as you know, or as people who are looking to participate in Hard 75, those are some of the same requirements. You can't drink. You got to maintain a diet. Drink a gallon of water every day. 2 workouts, 1 inside, 1 outside, that type of thing. So, I mean, I feel lighter. You know, I feel lighter on my feet, honestly. Sleeping has been better. That's a big one. And then I've been tracking that with this new fitness tracker I got, this Aura ring. You know, I had to dump the Apple Watch, not knocking Apple, but I just, getting in the way, stuff like that. But I mean, overall, I think my energy level has been up. I don't feel as fatigued, especially working in business. You're in between meetings, you're in between calls, there is an expectation of obviously, being very responsive, especially to emails, things like that. And then outside of that, coming home, kids getting out of school, gotta take care of home, right? Yeah. So, you're busy, I'm busy. And I like having more energy to kind of carry me throughout the day and eating better. I love that. You know, I had somebody asked me the other day, they said, man, how are you, you know, what are you eating? They were like, you can't have this, you can't have that. And I said, you know, if you're focusing on what you can't have, then you're going to start having tunnel vision. And then you're going to give up because you're going to give in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I can't have this, I can't have that. And it's like, maybe I should just change my outlook on what I should be eating, you know, not making it hard for myself.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm going to start the day off. I'm going to eat some oatmeal, put some blueberries in it, put some walnuts in it. I think I sent you a picture of that.
Yeah, that's good.
You said it was a little too watered down, but
had the blueberries swimming in it.
Yeah, no, but I just take what I like and I make it work for me. You know, like cauliflower.
Yeah.
You know, being from Memphis, we love our wings.
Yeah.
So you know what? We gonna oven roast the cauliflower, toss it in some wing sauce.
Yep, and that's it.
And it's good.
It
works.
It
works. So I like that about it. You know, and I'm seeing results. I mean, hell, you just saw me, you know, getting out of the car, walking. He's like, man, you done already lost weight. I'm like, oh, man, I ain't doing nothing.
Might be motivated.
They ain't doing nothing.
Man,
they ain't doing nothing.
Man, we've been losing weight together.
Yeah.
We've been losing weight. We doing. I think. I won't be far-fetched. I think we combine, and I think me and you combine maybe like around maybe 25 pounds total.
Yeah.
So far, and it's just day 12. Well, so I'll brag.
I am ahead of you. You know,
but how much?
Look, I'm ahead of you. I started on the first.
What's your number, man? I need to know how much you lose.
I started on
more than 15 pounds.
Look, I'm gonna just say I started on the first. Look, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna really hate this when I show you.
Just say the number, man.
No, you're gonna hate that.
You are not. That's not your weight.
Oh, you're gonna hate that.
That is not your weight.
Hey,
that is not your weight, bro.
Take a look again.
That is not your weight, bro.
You're gonna hate me for it. Hey,
ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way.
Join the program, Hard 75, folks. I'm telling you, it's like sliced bread.
But it's
Don't
like
be scared.
17 pounds.
Hey, you know.
My bad. I was bragging about 13. That man.
Somebody's got to do it. It ain't gonna do itself.
No, you got 20. That's 20 pounds actually.
Yeah, you know. It is what it is.
Oh my God.
We on our way.
My bad. Sorry.
We on our way.
20 plus 13, bro. We at 33 total.
Man,
my bad.
Look, you just got hit with a punching bag.
I did. Now I gotta go run right now. Like after this, we gotta wrap this up. Yeah, man. But even with Hard 75, man, like I for me, it just has been an enlightening journey, man. It's been I think the only day that was really hard was the first day. But it became easier because it was a snow day or something like that and whatever. Yeah, so it made it better.
But the weather's been crazy.
Yeah, after that, it's just been, now it's just routine. I'm just like, okay, cool. So I just been excited to see the results. And also like that's why I also put out there on Facebook as well, the accountability groups, because they help you progress. Like we in the group, and we,
as long as they're not bullshitting.
Yeah, as long as you're not playing. Like, you actually say, hey, this what I made. That stuff motivates the whole team. And that's why I put it out to people that, thank you all for our response. I think I got 13 people that responded. So we got 3 groups now. And we're gonna do that because I know that accountability, people don't have that. Like I said, people don't have people that they can talk to, or actually that will hold them accountable. Huh? It's like, so no, you can do it next year, or do it next week,
or do
like,
it tomorrow.
Yeah, do like that. Y'all can get Sergeant Blanchard on this one. Like I'm on y'all for real. But it just let me know how good it feels to be on this side. It feels good doing what we doing. Like every day I wake up like, man, I know done doing something. All right, let me go. Yeah, I could be tired. And I was like even just this morning was on time, super tired. And I was like, I got done coming out there. I gotta go.
Man, look, and then I get up just as early as you
For
do.
Real?
And I know when I roll over, the first thing that's coming to mind, I know this man done text me. I already know he done text me.
Hey,
I already know he text me.
What Jay-Z say? Hey, 50 Cent coming. Y'all better start doing all these checkers. He coming. Hey, but yeah, but I had to ask you one last question before we get out of here. What are some things, like as far as men health goes, like what are some things you feel that this the side is like hard to fire, whatever. But what are some things you think that men that are trying to start their journey to be more healthier and stuff like that? What are some things that you feel that being removed now or helped your health and your perspective? And also, do you recommend people like, hey, take a break from this or whatever and see how it goes for you?
I want you to get up, walk into the bathroom, take off all your clothes, and look in the mirror. And if you like what you see, great. If you don't like what you see, get to work. Get to work. Is that simple? Is that simple?
Yeah.
The plans are out there. You got people who are around who taking fitness challenges, who doing this, that. Even the Red Cross, they got a 100-day push-up challenge going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, the information is there. There are people out there who are involved, who are doing it. There's plenty of YouTube. There's plenty of videos circling around on Instagram. You know, like I said, everybody looking good. You know, you get on there, it can be intimidating. Everybody look like supermodels. Everybody got 8-pack abs, you know.
Yeah.
They didn't start there. They started just like you, just like me.
Right.
They looked themselves in the mirror. They said, you know what? I want to change the way I look.
Yep.
And they got serious. And they got serious about it.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what?
Yeah.
This is the day I'm going to move forward and do something different. And that's just what I did.
Yep.
It wasn't no magical pill I took.
Ozempic.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I knew you was on Ozempic.
Please don't. Please don't. Do not get us in a lawsuit. Do not do that. Do not do that.
Hey, your successful journey.
Hey, you know,
He's cheating.
It's not that easy for everybody.
That's true.
You know, some people do have challenges where they do need some help to get there.
That's true.
But you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing that we all do is eat.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pull through that drive-through. Keep on driving. Drive past that mug.
I just want the smoothie though.
No. Drive past it. Go home.
Cook.
Go to the grocery store. You may meet somebody while you're in there.
You ain't lying.
You know?
Whole Foods.
You know what I'm
Fresh
saying?
Market.
Go to the grocery store. Spend time in the produce section. Be like, you know what? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get some fruit. You know, everybody like fruit
You right.
to a certain degree.
Yeah.
So it's like, start there.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat some fruit in the morning. I'm not going to get the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit with the hash browns.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat a banana and some apples or something like that. You know, you can start off light. You don't have to. The biggest thing is just starting. And I think that's advice that carries people very far. It's just starting.
Yeah, starting.
You know, whether it's health, whether it's your own personal goals, whether it's, you know, trying to achieve something that you always wanted to do or business idea or whatever, just start.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel you on that. I agree. I think it's like maybe 5 or 6 things like I would want men to research on their own. Look into semen retention and you research it yourself. Yeah, so I'm not going to tell you all of these benefits of it, but look at the semen retention, look into NoFap, look into monk mode, look into Heart 75. Also look at celibacy and also look at being sober and life without alcohol. Just look into all of those things. And like he just said, if you look in the mirror and if you say, okay, I'm good with what I'm doing, fine. But if you look at any of these things I just told you to research and you have an aha moment, just look into it and get to work. Because I know for sure, if you pick any of them I just said, you're going to have changes in your life that help you tremendously. And all of them programs just came up with, I just told you about. I've practiced them myself in my life to get me at the level where I'm at too. May not have done it for a long period of time, but I've tried them out. I did monk mode where I didn't do social media, all this other stuff and all of that. But it's just things that are enhancing discipline to a secondary level. Look up David Goggins. He was like 400 pounds. And look up him. There's a lot of examples of people that were in bad situations in life and he that transformed their lives. So we want you all to have it. But first and foremost, I say I appreciate you for coming out here, brother.
Oh, yeah,
I really do.
Sure.
Thank you for coming out here, man. I appreciate you for coming out here and being part of Purposeful Talk podcast. It's your first time being on the show.
Yeah, this is my first time been on a podcast ever.
Okay.
I've never been on a show. This is live, not scripted.
Yep.
Like literally.
You enjoyed it?
Look, I'm gonna take a picture and I'm gonna post it so everybody can see what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I'm like, man, this is a lot. This will be into. See, my guy Clyde.
Yeah, Clyde.
Back
shout out to Clyde, man.
Yeah,
shout out to Clyde.
Davis.
Hey, Clyde, man. I'm giving you a shout out as well, but thank you so much for believing in my podcast and sitting here and cutting this stuff up when I be talking.
I can't believe you have to listen to this guy.
Yeah, exactly, man. He's like, bro.
Wow.
He had to endure the lobster stories, all that stuff. So
God.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, brother, for all your help today. So this is the end of episode 5, y'all. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this to people, man, because this is going to help somebody for 2025, y'all. So with that being said.
Yeah, and I'll say, too, for those who want to follow me.
Follow me
on Facebook at Don Speaks, and I'm also on Instagram at All Things DH.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
that's me.
Snapchat?
That's me.
TikTok.
No, I don't do,
Okay.
TikTok is banned. What are you talking about? It's
what today is?
TikTok is done.
Okay. Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook.
So yeah, we're gonna have it in there for y'all to contact him as well. I know y'all may have questions maybe to him as well.
Don't put my phone number in there.
Now I can put your phone number in there. You can follow me on Coach_Blanche on Instagram and on Facebook, Blanchard Coaching Agency, and Facebook Princeton Blanchard. So with that being said, y'all enjoy y'all day and look forward to the next episode. Peace out.
And that's a wrap. Thanks, Claude.
That was GOAT.